Hello, everybody. This is Frank Blanton. Everything Black. We got a special guest on tonight. Anesthesia, Borden, right?
You did not
Bolden.
going to say my name like this. You're not going to chop me up like this, Frank. Anastasia the Bold Bolden.
Anastasia, Bolden. Deidre, did I say it right?
Yes, Anastasia. Anastasia, actually. It's supposed to be pronounced with some regalness. It's Anastasia.
Okay, Anastasia,
The Bold
the
Bolden.
Golden. All right, we got it down. We got the book behind us. It's called Indiscretion.
Mm-hmm.
I think I spelled it wrong on the title. But anyway, we'll fix that later. When we get started on the book, let me turn the music on. Like the music? Like the music? Do you like the music?
I absolutely do.
Okay. But maybe I need to change the music.
No, I like the music. Sounds mystical.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Bolden,
Yes.
come on, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. I
What
don't
you
mind at
do,
all.
your life, what you do on a day, on a daily basis, or give us a little information about you.
Well, as you know, I am a stand-up comedian, Frank, and mainly that's my other than my 9 to 5 job. I'm an energy broker, but for the most part, people know me as Anastasia the Bold for my comedy, and this year for 2025, I'm just gonna be tapping into all my gifts, and right. Excuse me, writing is one of them. Growing up in school, I was always in tag or laureate and stuff like that, which are classes for talented and gifted kids, and mostly it's kids with a uh, strong energy for writing or literature. And so, with that being the case, this year, December, these last 2 weeks of December, I have been writing. And Indiscretion is a book that I have been working on for quite some time. My character Adele, um, the protagonist, is a woman who um, uh, does not feel it necessary to keep a man. She just wants them for the purpose in which they are intended. And so she's a little mysterious. She's the one that everybody's attracted to, but she doesn't want anyone. She just likes having her fun, and she knows how to have fun.
Okay, now that's hold on. Now that sounds like the type of woman that is out here today. Um, that is, let me fix this right quick so we can so you can see both of us. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that sounds like the type of woman today that we see a lot. She mainly solo, single, by herself. At the end of the day, she's by herself, which is pretty much alone.
Yeah,
But can she have fun?
yeah.
Right? So get into a little details on this Adele. Adele.
Adele. Well, basically, she's very attractive. She's the kind of
Hmm.
woman that you would be attracted to, but she's independent. She takes care of. She's well to do financially. She doesn't need a man to take care of her.
Okay.
Uh, and by her being financially independent, her escapades often end up on the better end on the financial spectrum. So what she does is go out and she finds whoever she likes, and if things go her way, she beds them. And if she gets to bed him, uh, they want to keep her. She's definitely a keeper, but she's not that type. So she usually ends up just giving them a financial blessing that they don't even know that they're getting. She actually just leaves her. She keeps these little bags with her, and
Mm-hmm.
every time she has an escapade, she'll leave the little bag in the car, and the person will usually say, "Hey, you left your clutch." And she's like, "No, that's for you." And it'll have a note in there with a certain amount of money based on how satisfied she was.
Now is that chapter 3 or 2?
You would ask me that. Hold on, let me look.
I
Ah,
believe that chapter. When she leave
look
the
at them.
clutch,
Look at
it's
them.
either
Look at
chapter
them.
2 or
Look at
3.
them titles. Look at them titles. Them titles will tell you. I'm trying to get my second phone so that I can
Okay.
be able to
Oh, that's what
follow
I was
along with
talking
you.
about. Chapter 2.
Yeah, let me. I'm getting my other phone so that I can be
Yeah, you
able to
talking
see the
about
book.
the clutch.
So I can be able to see the book too while I'm talking to you. But
Now, what did you say the clutch was?
I'm sorry.
You said something about a clutch. I remember reading
Yes,
that.
it's her purse. It's like she always leaves her clutch in their car, and they'll be like, "Hey,
Oh, you said the first.
yes, it's like a little purse." And
Okay.
so,
Okay.
and she'll leave it in the car, and basically they'll be like, "Hey, you left your purse in my car," and it's like, "No, it's okay. Um, it's a gift." And when they open it up, it's a note in there, like a thank you note and a certain amount of money.
Right.
On this
Now,
escapade, he's going to receive $1,500
right. Now, this was inside the taxi cab.
inside the Taximo. It's
Yeah.
a taxi that's fixed up like a
Okay.
limo. It's a
Okay.
Taximo.
Taxi mode. See, that's what I want to make sure I was saying correct because
Yes.
this is this, in the fourth chapter they actually get together, right? Is
Uh-huh.
this
In the
in the,
fourth
do they
chapter,
get
the
together?
fourth chapter is the tantalizing connection.
Right. This is when they get together in the cab, right?
Yes.
They finally explore in the cab, but
Mm-hmm.
but he stopped for some reason. Why did he stop?
Huh?
Why did he stop for some reason? Cause she like something happened and he stops what he's doing
Mm-hmm. Because he
and
wants to
catches
reposition himself.
her.
He's
Wait a minute. I thought he thought about something and
no. Let me go over here because I don't know what page you on. So
that's
you got
chapter 4. That's chapter
yeah.
4.
Chapter 4 has many pages.
Chapter
So
Yeah, chapter 4 has many pages, but in chapter 4 the man is finishing. I don't know if he's finishing up but right in the middle of what he's doing, he stops and starts. Cause she asked him what's the problem or what something like that.
oh, okay. No, that's not in
It's
the
a
middle of what
pause.
he's doing. That's at the end of what he's doing because he's thinking about what just happened, what's transpired between them.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what did he stop for?
Because he was thinking about it. He was
Right.
in his mind about it. And
Was he
you know
making a
how when a
mistake?
woman done made love to you good and then you just like laying back like it's the first time you done made love to her and it was better than you thought. And so y'all were connected. And so he's
Okay.
just like leaning back in the Taximo and he's like, man, like, whoa, like that was everything I could have imagined. And so
Okay.
she's just like, hey, what's going on with you? And he's like, hey, I'm in my mind about this. Girl, don't be interrupting me. I'm reliving the moment. And
Okay.
so, yeah, that's basically what
Yeah,
she wants to know.
that
Like,
cause see that's the part I was confused about. But I was like, well, why did he stop?
he
And she was
stopped.
confused a little bit.
She wasn't confused. She was wanted to get into his mind. She wanted to know he was satisfied.
Okay.
Let me and let
I
me.
mean, the way she acted, she was asking, "What's wrong?" And you say, and according to the book, he was thinking
Mm,
about what he just experienced. He's
hmm
shocked by what just happened,
I keep
right?
forgetting to turn this page a certain kind of way. And you sure you on page? Let me go back.
That was chapter 4.
Let me see.
Or was it chapter
Uh,
5? No, that was chapter 4. Called chapter 5 was where he was giving her the clutch back, right? The clutch. She had got out the car,
he don't give it back. He try to like reach her.
right? And cause she leaves it in there on purpose, right?
Okay, so when he stops,
Right?
when she says I want it, he stops. Is that where you're talking about at the top of
Yeah,
chapter
yeah,
5?
yeah, yeah. That was in
Okay,
5.
it's because she called him Saber. When he
Okay.
stops, it's because
Yeah.
she called him a name that don't go with his energy in that moment. See,
Right.
Saber is the name that his taxi driver calls him for business, and
Okay.
she heard the driver call him that, and so she's just repeating what she heard the driver say.
Oh,
Because she thought it was rather humorous, and so she called
right.
herself going to just attach it to their conversation. And he's like, "No, don't call me that.
Right.
That's my name in the streets." He want to be
Right.
called Sebastian when he making love and when he was with
Right.
with a
I thought
woman.
his name was Sebastian, so I was like, "Who is this Saber?"
Saber is him. That's what the people in the streets call him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Got you. Got you. So is
yeah.
this guy? Is he some kind of businessman or he's a gangster? Which
No,
one?
he's a businessman. He's a
Okay.
businessman.
Okay.
He's at the bar. He's in town. He's just coming through town and he stopped in the bar, but he's frequently there. He's gonna come back. Uh, Probably about 6 books down because this is
Okay.
my first one, so he's gonna probably return probably in my
Later
seventh
on,
book.
yeah, in later books. Okay.
Yeah, because he's getting ready to, and if you'll read once you read this one to the end, he's getting ready to fly out to Berlin the next day,
Right.
and so he's gonna be going on a little vacation. But she's left a stain on his brain, so
Right.
he'll be coming back by the seventh book.
Right. So by that time, the first guy will be out, right?
Huh?
Her first guy that she mentioned, Tommy, will be
I don't
out.
know if Tommy will be out then.
17 months.
Tommy got that's a urine something. I don't know if Tommy will be out.
Okay, so Sebastian might come. I mean, yeah, Sebastian might come back before Tommy.
Sebastian might come back when Tommy get out and make her have to make a decision.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
We
that's
don't know
gonna be
how it's gonna go. She get to
right.
do what she want to do. She roll the dice and she roll them, and she ain't obligated to nobody. If you pay
Right.
attention in the beginning, Tommy is also a person that she gets from an agency.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She talks about. I thought Tommy was her guy, and the reason why she used the agency was because Tommy was in locked up, and she needed
No, 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 no,
companion.
no, 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 no. Tommy is from the agency. She does not
Okay.
have a man. She doesn't have any type of holdings on her. He was her
Okay.
regular John that she would pick up for her services
Agent.
and take back to the agency.
Right. What do she have any children, or do she want to be married, or she just want to be free like that? Now she
No
getting
one
a,
can. She has not found anyone that can tame her
right. So what I'm
or that
saying is
makes her
she
feel a certain type of way.
right, but she's getting that body count up though.
It's okay. She she picks what she picked. She picked
Okay,
what she
so
picked. She healthy.
right,
She clean. She don't catch
right.
no
So
diseases, and she picks her men with taste and class.
right. So what I'm saying is she can't lock one. She don't seem to want to lock one down because all the beauty, before her season runs out.
No, she is not interested in locking anyone down. She likes to have her cake and eat it too. She's
So
a
she
woman
gonna
of the
end up
world. She likes variety.
Right. So how far she plan on going with this variety? Is she not ever? She gonna end up being 60, 80. You know.
She doesn't give
which
her
is
age. That's the thing
which is
about her. No one
that's
knows
right.
she's a.
That's the next question I was gonna ask. What?
She does
How
not
old
give her age. She's just a mysterious woman that's well rounded with wisdom and knows how to satisfy a man.
is?
And her age, when people find out her actual age, they're not going to believe it because she looks nothing like her actual age.
So is she some type of angelic being?
She take you on an exploration. She takes you on a love high and make you feel like she's an angelic being because everybody loves her. Every person that comes in contact with her, they love her energy and the way that she makes them feel. She
That's what
knows
I
how
was
to make a man feel like a man. That's why they want to keep her.
gotcha. So we have how many more book? You say the sixth book. So this the first one. So we
Yeah.
got five more books to go through, right?
Oh, she's gonna have many stories for you to read.
Okay.
I've
So
already been requested for the next. In fact, this one book has a different version.
hmm
This is the uncut version, the one that we're
okay,
reading. This one is the
okay,
uncut version with the roses on it. But there's
okay,
another of the same book with the same story, just
okay,
told in a more ladylike way. Because Adele is bipolar,
okay, okay.
so she is bipolar.
Is Adele getting
One side of
counseling?
her is a nasty girl, and the other part of her is a lady. So
So
depending on which energy you're talking to, that's the book you're reading. So if you're a
right.
nasty girl and you're a freak, you're gonna want the one with the rose on it. But if you like to be loved on, pampered, and talked to nice, you might want the one with the gray, with the city at the top and the rain at the bottom on the glass.
Okay, so go. Let me get your cash app on her so we can go and find out what this book costs. Give me 1 second. Let me get your cash app across the bottom so people can know
And
where
I
to.
and I wanna read them the foreword. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna read the foreword for the book just so they can get a. Oh, you think I should read the foreword or the synopsis?
I think you. I think you should go with the foreword.
You like the foreword?
Yeah.
I love you, Frank. You a mess. Okay, now let me do this. Okay, in a world where desire dances on the edge of proprietary meet Adele, a woman who embodies everything we crave yet succumbs only to one deep-seated longing. Indiscretion plunges readers into an intoxicating life of Adele, a sultry seductress with an insatiable appetite for passion and adventure. She navigates the complexities of relationships with a daring spirit, all the while keeping her heart guarded. Through a series of tantalizing encounters, Adele's escapes will grip your senses, leading you through the smoke and mirrors of her romantic escapades. As she seeks fleeting connections, you'll find yourself entangled in her web of indulgence, yearning to uncover what lies beneath her sultry exterior. Will she ever let her guard down? What happens when a one night stands become more than just an escape? Adele's world is filled with passion, intrigue, and the promise of what lies behind every door. As you turn each page, you'll find yourself eager for her next adventure, questioning not only her intentions but your own desires, all while knowing that for Adele, it was a one night stand. With every encounter, Adele entices and engages, leading you deeper into a world of seduction and intrigue. Prepare yourself for an unforgettable journey with indiscretion.
Mm.
Y'all forgive me. This is my cat Stardust. He evidently knows that we're on TV and he wants his 5 minutes to shine. He's like, Mom, you've been on that phone all day and like I have
Yeah.
not been scratched or rubbed. So
Right.
everyone meet Stardust. That's Stardust.
What's up, Stardust? Okay, tell us about your ministry.
Well, my ministry is called Pushed Into My Purpose Ministries. We're a nonprofit organization. I support and assist people who have been sexually abused or been through domestic violence. I also help women with getting finding their emotional intelligence and finding the balance in between what has traumatized them in their past and living in their present. Um, we're pushed into my purpose ministries. The acronym is Pimp Ministries.
Okay.
My motto is All Hoes Welcome, which is the HOS, stands for Highly Optimistic Souls. Looking for something better, God got it, and you can find it at Pimp Ministries. And we don't believe nothing happens to you. We believe everything happens for you. It is up to you to put the things that traumatize you up under your feet so that they can propel you higher. Let your enemies be your footstool, and let the things that happen in your past be the things that make you move forward so that you can help somebody else come through the same thing.
Right.
And that's
Now,
pushing people into their purpose. Pimping, baby. I've been pimped. I've been pushed into my purpose.
okay. Now, don't you think that's a little, like if I'm a white guy,
I don't care. I have
no,
went
no,
I have
no,
went to a church to speak. You would be surprised when I go to church, when I go to ministries and speak, and they find out the name of my ministry is Pimp Ministries.
right.
You will be so surprised at how many people are intrigued, and they want to know why did I come up with that name. And
Mm-hmm.
when they find when I start explaining the meaning behind Pimp Ministries, and they understand that it's not just an acronym that's just to grab their attention. It's an acronym that has purpose.
Right.
The reason that I call it Pimp Ministries is because of my in my childhood, I was traumatized by molestation, sexual abuse, and things of that nature. And when I got into my teenage years, I was sexually promiscuous, but um, for whatever reason, I never got a bad name. I never ever ever got a bad name. I was like the one woman that they respected. And all my friends, all my life, even into my adult years, they was just like, nobody ever talked about you. And I think part of the reason was that nobody ever talked about me was because I was willing to tell it on myself. It was nothing nobody I was very candid even at my young age. I was like the person that I didn't bar none and I didn't care what people think, and I've always been that person. But the other thing about Pimp Ministries is because of my abuse. When you are young and you've been molested and you're a woman, you're gonna take your is there's three routes you can take. You'll either become promiscuous, and you'll try to get back what was taken from you by giving it away, which is crazy as hell. But basically, you become promiscuous because you feel like since the other people took it from you, now I'm just going to give it away because,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to do what I want to with it. Like these people
Right.
took it from me. And so now I'm going to do what I want to with it, which you in turn start abusing yourself because of the abuse that you've been through.
Okay.
What were you finna say, Frank?
No, I said okay. I agree. I did what you're saying.
And then like the other person, um depending on how bad they were abused, they turn into the abuser. They start to do the things that were done to them to other people. The other option is it repels you from the people that you're supposed to be intimately involved with. So say for instance at my young age a man molests me. Well, based on whatever trauma he caused, it could also make me not want to be with men anymore and just go straight to women because it'll make me feel like men are barbaric, and so I want to be loved. And one situation can taint your picture of all men, and I think
Right.
that's sad, but it's the truth.
Okay.
One encounter with the wrong man can ruin a lady's perspective on all men. And
Right.
so that is why some women end up going to women for the love and the emotion and the affectionate part of a relationship, even though they want the strength of a man. That is why
Mhm.
they date studs, because they still want the masculine energy,
Right.
but they want the affection that comes with it. And that's what a lot of times when you've been molested and stuff, that what happens. That's the way it ends up. You either be promiscuous, you turn gay, or you become
Mhm.
an abuser.
Okay, let me ask you this question since you was talking about the stud part.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of them would tell you that they wasn't molested. That's just what they choose to be. Is that you think that's true or
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe people can be born gay, and the reason I believe that is because I done seen babies that are less than 6 months exhibit gay behavior.
less than 6 months? What they doing?
Like babies less than a year have exhibited gay behavior.
Give me an example.
Um, every time the baby cry, he make this like little weird ass noise at the end. Like it's like the regular cry for a baby is like ah, ah, ah. Well, gay one of my gay people in my personal life, when he was young, his cry was like ah. It would go ah, ah,
I don't mean to
ah.
laugh,
And he always held his bottle when he was
right?
young. He held his bottle by the nipple. He
Okay,
never he never held his bottle like a bottle. He always
right.
held it by the nipple.
And
My
you
daughter
figured
is
it,
gay. My daughter
right,
is gay. When
right.
my daughter was 5 years old, her brother was 7 or 8. He came in the house. He came inside. He said, "Mama, Nene gonna be gay." And I'm like, "Boy, don't say that about my baby." I'm like, "Be quiet." But this was her big
Mhm.
brother.
Okay,
He went back outside. He came back in the house. He said, "Mama, Nene gonna be gay." And I'm like, and he was 7 or 8. And I'm like, "Shut your mouth. My baby ain't gonna be gay." So
right,
when he came back the third time and he said, I said, "Why are you saying your sister gonna be gay?" He talking about
right.
mama because she keep on breaking these dogs' heads off. She keep their legs up. She kept on every dog I would get her, she would break the head off the dog and she would always keep their legs up. When she was in the back, like 2 days after this incident, I was in the backyard and we at this time we had a house, we lived in Oak Cliff. And my daughter had a doll house that was made of play school blocks, those like the Lego blocks, but the
Mhm.
big ones for when you have a big house outside that you can walk
Right,
in for like a two
right,
or 3 year old.
right.
My daughter at age 5, that thing weighed at least 25 pounds, 20 pounds.
Okay,
She was in the backyard. She scooped it up. Our yard was very big. It was at least 15 feet. She walked with it like nonstop for
mhm,
at least 4 yards
mhm.
before putting it down at five
Right,
years old and then
right,
just picked it back up and towed it the rest of the way. But the way that she did it was very masculine. Very
okay,
masculine. And I was like, Lord. And then I have a dominant personality. My energy is very strong.
right,
And sometimes I feel like my energy is almost masculine. And so I think some of that came off on my daughter. And so yeah, but yeah, I
well,
do believe kids can be born gay, and people be talking about God don't make no mistakes. They're not mistakes. Your sexuality doesn't keep you from being in my this is my own opinion. This has nothing to do with the platform that I'm on. This is my personal opinion. I do not believe that being gay will separate you from God. I don't believe that because we're spirits living in a vessel. Spirits
right,
don't have a sexuality. This is just like a car, getting into a car. If you
right,
were to get in your car is not a girl or a boy. Your car
right,
can't drive until you get in it. Your body can't move until your spirit awakens. So
right,
if we were to take our bodies off, we're spirits having a worldly experience, and we're not people having a spiritual experience.
gotcha.
And the reason that I feel that is because when you lay in your bed all day, you can be in your right mind. But if you lay in your bed for 5 days, your body gonna stink. It's gonna start to decay. It's gonna start doing what bodies do, because the body is only a vessel. The spirit is what makes it move. And
Right,
so, if you understand spirituality, you will understand that that's why we have like people, grandparents or somebody that died, and then now another baby will be born, and they like that baby walk like Papa, act like Papa, and it's a girl, but it got the energy of the grandfather. It acts, does stuff that the grandfather done. It's because the spirit moved. It went to another house, or the energy left some energy with someone. I believe in that kind of stuff, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
No, we're not rushing. We're not rushing. Take your time.
I honestly believe that, and I don't really think God is a God that cares who you're screwing. I don't think He's really concerned with your body parts. I think He's concerned with your heart. Now, if what you're doing is causing damage or causing, if what your lifestyle is causing someone else hurt, harm, or danger, I think that's a problem. Um, but if you're doing something in love and you're helping and God sees the heart. We're just judgmental based on what we think is right, but God sees the heart. And so God sees what pain propelled you to do whatever action that you're doing. um God knows and understands all. And even the good book says, in all things seek an understanding. We're so quick to judge, but we don't want to ask no questions about how a person got a certain way, why they are a certain way. Nobody wants to ask the tough questions. Nobody wants to hear the why. And then when they get the why, they don't want to accept the why. I remember when I talked about my molestation on the air on another radio station, I had more Christian people call in and talk crazy and say negative stuff than any other group of people. Thank you, Father. And the reason that they were upset is because I said that I felt that my molestation, what I went through, was divinely orchestrated in order for me to become who I needed to become in God, who, like, for the people that I needed to serve for my walk in my life on my journey. Those were the things I had to go to be able to fulfill my mission. And when people understand that we are predestined to go through certain things, they'll understand that nothing happens to them, everything happens for them. And you can either look at the cup half empty or you can look at the cup half full. I
Right.
choose to look at the cup half full
Okay.
because I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't change my life, because everything that happened in my life made me who I am today. I wouldn't be as good as comedian as I am had I not went through the abuse I went through. My
Right.
abuse is what shaped my ability to articulate, speak, be funny, be able to be empathetic to others. It's what made me. And if you and most people, their abuse is what made them strong, whether they want to give it credit or not. The
Okay.
reason that they're good parents because they, whatever molested them or made them, whatever thing traumatized them, made them respond a certain way. I don't know why this just came in my spirit. A lot of people like to complain about not having mothers and fathers in their lives,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll give their parents like all this grief about not being in their life and things like nature. And so my daughter, I'll use my child for example. My daughter named my oldest daughter, her dad. Shout out to my baby Destiny, manifest your destiny. Shout out to my baby. Um, her dad was my um, a high school crush. Okay, so let me tell you about this crazy stuff. So I had a crush on my daughter's dad when I was in like high school, middle school, like, but I couldn't go with him because I was too little. I was too
Right.
young to date him. So what I did was I would date his brother when he was young and go sit at their house on the end of his brother bed and stare at his big brother. I never goosed his little brother, but I only dated him because I wanted to look at his big brother because I couldn't do nothing with him. So I would just go over
Right.
there, eat his candy, eat his apple, and sit on the end of his bed and stare at his brother. And we stayed friends even after, because some kind of way he ended up finding out that I had a crush on his brother. It was so funny though. But it was like I had this crush on his brother, and then when I turned of age, I think I was like 26. My baby was born in 91, 74, 74, 91, 74, 91. So 27, 27. That's right. So I was about 26 when I went back to Lubbock, and I was grown, and I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
looking for that man. I wasn't looking for
Right.
that man. And
Right.
I couldn't find him where I had seen him before, but I ended up going out to the club with my aunts, and he was there, and he walked up on me, and he said Anastasia, and and it was like I melted. I remember the song,
Right.
I remember the music that was playing, everything,
Right.
and I still had the same love for him that I had as a little girl. Like every emotion just flowed to the front,
Right.
and we dated. He became my boyfriend. I had my daughter, and then once I got my daughter by him, um, I don't know. Once I got pregnant, something changed in me. It was like, okay, this ain't what I want. He still stay with his mom. I don't want this. Let's go. And so I left, and I left Lubbock, and I brought my daughter back to Dallas. Um, and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff happened because I had a boyfriend in Dallas. I was really a bad girl. I was a bad girl at a young age, and everybody and every guy and some kind of like, it's similar to my character Adele. I was wanted, but I didn't want nobody because I was molested. I couldn't get bonds. I couldn't form long lasting bonds. If I started to care about you, I'd start to push you away because I
Right.
would, in my mind, I would think if I'm caring about you, that you're going to do something to hurt me eventually because all the
Right.
people that have molested me have been within my family. So that made me have a fear of any kind of love emotion because the people who that were supposed to love me had abused me. So when a person outside of that spectrum came in trying to show love, they got put in the same spectrum with the people that was in my family because I had no ability, I had not developed enough emotional intelligence to separate trauma from a genuine interaction and not be able to paint that same picture on this picture. I didn't have that ability at that time, so I just like would sabotage the relationships, get out of them. And then also part of that was my dad molested me, so I didn't trust dads. I didn't trust baby daddies. Anytime I got
Right.
pregnant, I would tell them I don't need you anymore, thank you for your services, I'm gone. And yeah, that was my whole life. That was my whole life. Every last kid I got, I ran away from. I ran away. I got pregnant, I ran away.
Right. Now you
Except for
said
my last two. My last two, I married. By that time, I had gotten a little bit more mature, and so I married my last two children's dad.
okay.
But yeah,
Oh, what do you mind me asking what age this happened?
was I molested?
Yeah.
From 3 to 11.
3 years old?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
mean to tell me you was 3?
Yes. My uncle was performing oral sex on me.
Your uncle?
Yep. My mama's brother.
Okay, but what was the deal? Did you say your dad?
My daddy molested me when I was older. My uncle had access to us because he was a babysitter and he was in our same age range. And so he was the babysitter. He was the person who had to walk us to the store. So he got to take quite an advantage. And then I had a little sister that I knew that he would try to molest her too. And so by me being the big sister and I already used to being molested, I would put myself in harm's way to try to keep him from molesting my sister. But when we got older, I found out he's like everything still happened anyway that I was trying to prevent. But yeah, yeah,
What was the mom at?
my shit. She where the fuck she was at, in her room or at the crack house or
Okay, so it
sleep.
was right. So
Like
she wasn't mentally there for you then.
you know what? I'm not a person who do the blame game. I prefer to say she didn't know how to protect me because she wasn't protected.
Gotcha.
Oftentimes, once you get mature and you start like analyzing your parents' lives and like really like looking at their lives and like just giving a damn and stop blaming. Get out of your feelings and try to get an understanding. Like, why didn't my mama do this? Why didn't she fight for me? Why didn't she do this? And when
Right.
I looked at it and I started like looking back, my grandmother was born into a family where she had like 10 brothers. She was the only girl. My granny was very, 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 she drank a lot. She cussed a lot. She never talked about her uh, life as a child. But I remember when she was in the nursing home, I asked her, had she ever been molested? And she turned her face away from me. And she said, her only answer was, Rui always protected me. Which meant somebody had molested her, but she had one brother that would protect her. For
Okay.
me, my big brother protected me. I remember staying with my grandmother for the summer, and it was me and my brother. And this what stopped me from telling. This is what stopped me from telling, because I would tell when stuff would happen, and it was almost like it fell on deaf ears. Like they would find a way to like make you think you crazy, and you like, I know this shit
Yeah.
happened. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. But I remember I told my grandmother what my uncle had did. No, I told my brother. My grandmother hadn't came home yet, so I told my big brother what had happened. Like, I told my big brother, I was like, hey, Unc did this right here and did this and this to me, and put his meat, place his meat don't go, and he was humping on me and all this right here. And my brother whooped my uncle's ass. It was the first time my brother my uncle used to always bully my brother,
Uh-huh.
but that was the first time I seen my brother whoop my uncle's ass.
Right.
And then he got put out of my granny's house.
Your uncle or your
My
brother.
brother
Your brother got put out. What they put him out for?
for beating up my uncle, cause that was my granny baby boy. And him and my brother was only like 3 or 4 years apart.
This is
So
Do you
that
think he
made
did
me.
something to your brother?
They put him because okay. So you have to understand ghetto dynamics. My uncle was my granny's baby boy. My mama was on drugs and stuff like that, which was the reason my granny had both of us, because my mama wasn't like doing good. She wasn't doing good at parenting.
Right.
So when my brother, pretty much my uncle was my granny's patriarch in the house. He was the man of her house. Like, and he was the youngest. Like, so he was like her baby. Like, she had three other kids that was like grown, and then my uncle came. Like, my granny had my uncle when she was like 48 or 46 or something. So him and my brother were more like brothers, like brother age. And so when it was told that my brother beat up my uncle, it was more like a slap in the face, because he the uncle, and it
Right.
wasn't expected that the little cousin's supposed to beat up the big cousin or
Right.
whatever. But then on top of that, for whatever reason, they made him feel like he was trying to be grown by trying to protect me. I don't know what the hell that was, but
Right.
they moved my brother and left me in the house with my uncle and my granny to get abused more, and with his at free will now, because now you had removed my protection, that the one person that I felt protected by. And I think that and that stopped me from telling for a while. Then that same uncle's dad molested me years later. He tried to molest me, my little sister, and my older stepsister, and I had to fight for all three of us. And I
Right.
almost killed his dad by hitting him in the head with a skillet.
Right.
And it was just crazy. We like hid in the bathroom, and my big sister was with me, my big stepsister, and then my baby sister. And so when his dad tried to molest us, I looked to my big sister to fight, and she was just scared straight. I don't. And in that moment, I matured probably 30 years in that moment, because I looked at my big sister's face, and
Uh-huh.
I read on her face that she had been familiar with this kind of situation. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it. I knew that
Right.
she had been going through abuse already, and that she was scared to fight him back. And my little sister was with me, and I had a big ego even as a little kid about my little sister. And so when I turned to my big sister, and she wasn't being a big sister, I looked back at my little sister, and I had to fulfill the role. And I went to work.
I know that's right.
I went to work. And I don't know why this is making me emotional, because I done talked about this shit 1,000 times. But
Right.
we ended up going and locking ourselves in the bathroom, calling our parents, and they came home. We told them everything that he had did to us, and that he was trying to like feel on us and trying to have sex with us and all this stuff. And they knew we were telling the truth. They knew we were telling the truth. But when
Right.
we got to 85 Stemmons up there on that 23rd floor, 22nd or 23rd floor with that white man, all of a sudden all the adults went crazy. And it
Right.
was like the kids were talking, then we would be telling what happened. Then the man, that's the psychologist man, would ask the adults if this what happened. And then the adults would give a different answer. And then they would turn around and start rearranging the questions to get us to get him a different answer.
Mm.
That I did not know affected me up until my 40s.
Right.
I had extreme anxiety when people started to ask me questions. I did not like questions. You could ask me one or two questions, but if you started like making me feel like you were prying, I would back up way so fast, and it had me having relationship problems too, because
Right.
I would always think that if somebody was asking me a question, they had a motive, and that they were going to do something to betray me, just based on that situation, not knowing how it had planted a seed in my spirit that every time I tell the truth, somebody convinced me I'm telling a lie, and they're not really listening to what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that shit was deep. And it's that way for a lot of sisters. It's that way for a lot of black men that don't know how to express themselves. It's so many black men that have been molested,
I know.
that don't talk, and they don't have a they don't even have a platform to talk on. And that's part of pimp ministries too, because I allow men to express themselves as well. And I know so many husbands secret that their wives don't even know about them being molested and going through stuff. And every time I ask, I'm like, why haven't you told your wife? And they'll be
Right.
like, because I think she'll use it against me. And that is so crazy to me. I couldn't be married. I couldn't be married to somebody that I thought if
Right.
I was vulnerable with them, that they would use it against me. To me,
But
that says you're married to the wrong person. But this is the
right.
world we live in, where people are comfortable being with people that they can't be comfortable with. Crazy.
Right. Well, in society we are comfortable with racism. So if you allow racism, you allow any insanity into your life.
Well,
Um. So we had a great talk tonight,
oh yeah.
and
I think I
it's
did out
late.
talking. You ain't said nothing.
But hey, that's the
You
way
a
you
good
talk.
listener though, Frank.
That's right. That's therapy. That's therapy,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes, it is.
we're gonna
I've
come back.
enjoyed this too. I've enjoyed this. For 2025, I really want to help more women.
Hmm.
Um, I want to help a lot more women to become free of their trauma. And tonight, I want to share this with you. Tonight, when we went to feed people in South Dallas, we were over there by the packing house in South Dallas off of Martin Luther King. And you know, I'm a spiritual person, and so we were feeding the people, and we was passing out plates. And there was a car in the parking lot that was at the very far corner of the parking lot. And as I was going back into my car to get some more food or something, the Spirit of God said, "Go over there to that car."
Uh-oh.
And
I was going to tell you to go ahead and tell us about what happened when we was out the other night, and this guy that you had met, you had talked to him.
I had another one of those phenomenons last night, bro.
So a lot of people don't know that you
I'll share that. Just bring me back to it when I get you telling you this, because my butt will forget like a mug.
No, go ahead and do this one. Then we're gonna come back, cause you coming back. Like hopefully tomorrow night you come back.
I come back tomorrow. I don't got no issue with it. I'll be right back on.
I want you to be a host on. I want you to come on and host the show sometime and just talk and fill in like you do, and we're gonna get this thing rolling.
I love it.
But go ahead and finish the story.
But so I ended up going over to this car, bro, and it was an elderly lady in the car. God sent me to the car. It was an elderly lady in the car. She was 72 years old. She was contemplating suicide.
Okay, hold on before you finish the story. Now, I want to say this. I've heard her talk about this with other people, and what she's about to tell you is true now. I want y'all to know this is true. It may seem strange, but it's true. Because I've heard her talk to other people, and these people have witnessed this with her. So, here we go. Yes. Go ahead and finish up.
Yes, sir. So this incident I'm telling y'all about, it happened today where I went to a car. God sent me to this lady's car. And the lady was in her car, like, contemplating suicide. She's 72 years old. And God sent me to the car, and I just started telling her I love her. I just started to tell her I love her. And I'm like, and she's like, "Why are you at my car?" And I said, "Well, the Spirit sent me to your car." I said, "I just wanted to come and tell you that I love you." And she got out the car. And the woman said to me, she said, "I know God sent you to this car." She said, "Because there's no way you could have knew what was going on in my car." And she said, "There's no way you could have knew what I needed, because I don't know you." And I just started hugging her and just speaking over her, because she was an elderly Black woman. And our people have really gotten away from caring about each other. You know, we done lost all our, like, neighborhood grannies. You know, the grannies that used to be in the projects or the apartments, that no matter what was going on in your house, it was one house you could go to. You could get cookies. You could get love. You could get inspired. We've lost a lot of that.
Right.
Long story short, I ended up hugging her. She gave me her phone number. We took pictures. She blessed me. I blessed her. And in that moment, she told me I'm her new daughter. I told her I'm going to be her new daughter, because the thing that she wanted to commit suicide was because her kids. She did all she felt like she could do. And she said, "I'm not being up to what they want me to be. They want me to be this because they have a lot of money now, and they want me to be this, and they want me to be that." And she was like, "I'm not that." And I'm like, "You're enough." I said, "You're enough." I said, and the kids in this day and time, they have very entitled emotions. Mm-hmm. They don't understand sacrifice. They don't understand grace. They don't understand mercy. They don't understand that the only reason that there is success is because of the sacrifices you made. And she kept asking me, she's like, "How do you know what you're saying, but you don't know me?" But I was speaking through God's wisdom. I wasn't speaking No other way. I was only speaking to her heart because that's what God had sent me over there to touch. At the end of the conversation, she hugged me, and my daughter-in-law, both of my daughter-in-laws, and my another little goddaughter that was there. We all group hugged her together. We exchanged phone numbers, and she's already called me since I've been gone. We've already talked on the phone twice. I'm a firm believer that if we start caring more, we can get the love back in our community. I don't know if it was COVID or something else, but we've lost a lot of love. My spirit is telling me to tell y'all about the little boy. Somebody needs to hear this. I don't know who. So, me and Frank met through a mutual friend. My shout out to making the world famous, my bro VC, and my friend Miss Dee Dee Verdine, the realtor of the world. Shout out to those two beautiful people. I was hanging out at in a professional environment with me, Frank, and some other friends. We were all hanging out together. Just a lot of business people networking. Thank you, Father. Well, in the midst of us networking, I'm talking, and you can tell my voice is heavy and very distinct. I sound a little masculine. I apologize, y'all. I'm not growing. I don't know why I'm hiccuping, but I know I ain't growing. At least I hope. At least I hope not. But while I was talking, the young man that was there, he kept saying he knew my voice. Well, I didn't recognize I had something about the young man seemed familiar, but I couldn't place. I couldn't place it. Well, every time I would speak, he would say it again. He would say, "I know your voice," and I would say, "Well, I'm a comedian," or da 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 da, some. You probably saw me here. And he was very adamant about his no. He was like, "No, it's not that." He's like, "I know your voice." And so by the third time he said it, the spirit said to me, "He knows the voice of God." And I said, "Oh." And I didn't know what God was talking about. So then another young man over in another corner said, "She's the lady that was at the rap event with us when I was drawing the mural on the wall." Well, when that young man said that, the spirit, it triggered something in my spirit. And so it was like a chain block reaction. It was like, do, 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 do. Everything just like turned back in time. And all of a sudden my face turned to this young man. And I said, "You're the little boy." I said, "That's where I met the young man who daddy came to visit him in spirit."
Right.
And I said, "That's you." He said, "Yes, ma'am." Well, like magnets, me and this baby just clenched. We just clenched. And like we held an embrace for probably 10 or 15 minutes, or it seemed that long.
Right.
And everybody in the room was like looking strange and perplexed because to them, we were complete strangers. They didn't know how we knew each other. Right. So in our spiritual overflow and overwhelmness of me seeing each other again, because this had been 5 years since I had seen this baby. He had cut his hair. When I had seen him, he had long dreads. When I seen him that night, he has cut his hair short. He's like got a tapered look. Just being like a little clean cut kid. He ain't got all the stuff I had when I originally met him at 17. He had like a lot of locks. And we began to tell the story of how we met. And so I'm gonna go as fast as possible because I know my bro is wrapping up for time. But basically, I had been in a rap event, and I was doing stand-up comedy, but however, it was a young audience, and there was a rowdy group of young men to one side of the building, and they were being raunchy. And so, as to not get out of my spiritual self, I separated myself from these young men and went over to a different table and sat down. Well, the table where I sat down had that one young man at that table. And I was sitting there drinking whatever I was drinking and eating some chips. I think I was drinking a soda, eating some chips. And all of a sudden, while I'm sitting there, uh, the spirit raises my, like, God, the energy of God, the spirit raises my head up, and I look, and there's a spirit standing behind the young man. And so I just turn to him and I say, "Hey, I'm not trying to startle you. My name is Anastasia. I'm a spiritual person." I said, "And I want to let you know that there is a man standing behind you with some overalls on. And he's telling you, he wants me to let you know that he's proud of you." And so the little boy, at this time he's 17. So the young man looks at me kind of crazy, and he just kind of like side glares me, looking at me crazy, because he doesn't know me, he's never met me. This is our first encounter, and I just sat at this table. I ain't been at this table 5 minutes.
Right.
So, and he's looking over his shoulder like ain't nobody behind me. So I continue. I say, "The man standing behind you has on overalls, and he plays dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
And when he hits the dominoes to the table, he stops right before he gets to the table, and he
Mm-hmm.
lets it slide onto the table, and he says some cliche stuff like that." So now the baby done jumped up and he's screaming, and he's like, "Preachers told me that that kind of stuff ain't real, but I know
Right.
you don't know my dad, and you
Right.
don't know me. So how can you know this?" So I kind of just touch him and I'm like, "Hey, I don't know anything." I say, "God wants you to know that you're not by yourself." So I continue telling him that the dad is telling me that he's proud of him, because 3 days prior to to the event that we're at, he was just going to shoot a young man, and that he had been standing there with his hands clenched down by his side, like what we do when we get really angry. He had been doing that with a gun in his hand, and that he was about to shoot someone 3 days prior to this event, but he
Mm-hmm.
didn't shoot him because he had heard his dad's voice. I told him that I said those things to him. I
Right.
said, "You heard your dad's voice." I said, "He was with you. He was standing there with you." This baby just started crying. He started
Right.
crying. He's like,
Right.
"Ain't no way you can know this." Like, he's like, "Ain't no way you can know this." He told me that the boy that he was about to shoot was his cousin.
Mm.
Now, the night when me and you encountered this young man, that is when I found out why he was about to shoot the young man. He had
Okay.
just lost his brother, and he thought or felt that that cousin had something to do with his little brother getting killed.
Right.
And the dad's spirit had showed up in the incident to stop him from killing the cousin, because he didn't want him to cut off his blessings.
Right.
And so, by God bringing him back to me that night, with the energy being the way that it was, how everybody was saying, "Anastasia, this is what you're worth," and like it was like God's anointing or God's affirmation that my
Mm-hmm.
work isn't in vain, that everything, and he had been, and this is the other thing, God had been study telling me he was going to restore everything that I lost.
Right.
Well, that young man for me is a seed in my spirit. So for God to bring him back is a confirmation of who I am.
Right.
Now, the comedy show I did last night, another crazy scenario. There's a beautiful young lady that's a DJ, and she had a brother named Freddie. We call him Billy Billionaire,
Mm-hmm.
Billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And about 4 years ago, he was in a studio and he passed away. He got killed. Some dudes killed him in his studio. And he has a little sister that's a DJ that was like his best friend. His sister, she's a DJ. She was at this
Right.
comedy show last night. I had no
Right.
idea she was going to be there. I had
Right.
went to go support a friend for a comedy show, for a networking event. I walk in the building, and I never remember people, but I always remember their energy field. I don't never remember the encounters that I have with them, because when I'm doing those things, I'm in the spirit of God. So it just goes away until I meet them again, and then they tell me, and then it brings the energy back up. But I don't keep a track of these type of things, these occurrences. So last night when I'm in there, and the young lady is DJing hellified wonderful, and I'm sitting at this table, and I'm like, that girl can DJ. And so I didn't have cash on me, and I wanted to tip her, and I couldn't tip her. So I went to the DJ booth to get her card, and just to give her a compliment, to tell her that you are a wonderful DJ. May I have your card so if I have an event, I can use you? And she said, you don't remember me. She said, but I remember you. She said, at my brother's funeral, at his homegoing, you walked up to me and you whispered in my ear that you were, this is what I told her in her ear. I said, the reason that you were there when he died is because you were the only one that would be able to usher him into heaven's gates.
Right.
And it was meant for you to be there so you could be the last person he saw.
Right.
I did not remember the incident, but when she told me the incident, it did that thing again. God took me back into the moment again. And she was just crying last night. She kept leaving the DJ booth crying. And she's like, Miss Anastasia, I have been telling people about you for 4 years. And forgive me for crying. Because for me, it's real. It's passion fueled and it's results driven. Because God brings people back to you to remind you of who you are in Him. And sometimes to tell you, if you can do things this great, what makes you think I would not bless you in the financial realm if you're doing what you're supposed to in the spiritual realm?
Right.
So many of us have gifts that we don't even know that they're gifts. We think something's wrong with us. Like, there are people that are dreamers. Frank, you're a dreamer. We dream and our dreams come true. And sometimes we see stuff in the dreams that end up coming true. And we think that if we tell the people what we see, that something's going to happen to us or that it's going to be a bad thing. But in actuality, you're the warning before the destruction. You're supposed to tell the person what you saw in the dream so that when they're in that moment, they know what to do. We're not supposed to withhold the information. God gives it to us for us to light a path along the way of the person and to warn them, because dreams are visions. When you're asleep, you're in another realm.
Right.
But when you can wake up and you can still feel the emotion, the feelings, and the responses from when you were in the dream, that's not a dream. That's a reality. You were in a parallel reality. When you wake up and you're like, and you're feeling whatever you were in while you were slumbering, that's real. That's not a dream. That is, you were in another world, another plane. You were on another plane. And God allowed you to feel, react, respond. You time traveled. And then He brought you back to fix now so that whatever He showed you don't happen.
Right.
And so a lot of people don't walk in their gifts because they think something wrong with them. But that's the message the world has subliminally given us because of our different things that we can do that most of the world can't do.
Right.
You got to be from melanation.
Yes, sir. Definitely, that's a definite fact. So anyway,
that's really it. And I've had these encounters, bro. I had an encounter like this where God showed me a woman coming all the way from, like, she was an energy broker. Not an energy broker, Lord, that's what I am. Thank you, Father. But she was she sold solar panels,
Mm-hmm.
and she was my best friend. And we lived in a hotel at the time. We lived in this hotel, the Sterling Hotel over on Ringo Road. Well,
Mm-hmm.
she was selling solar panels, and on this particular day, she came to my room, and God said, "Make her an escape plan." And I'm like, "What?" And he's just like, "Make her an escape plan." And so when they do solar, they send them out to like these real distant areas, it's like remote. And sometimes when they'll get there, the address won't be like where it's supposed to be. It'll be like a 7 mile difference to where they actually got to drive down some long road or something.
Right.
And so this young lady, God had told me to make her escape plan. So I was like, okay, well, all right, Father. And so I was like, sis, God said, let's make you an escape plan. She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do this and we'll do it tomorrow. So as she's going out my hotel door, going down the hallway, the spirit said, I said now, do it now. And I'm like, okay, okay. So I run to the door real fast. And I'm like, sis, now. I'm saying, nah. I'm like, no, no, no. I said, God said, do it now, do it now. So she come back to my room, and I still have the escape plan in my phone. I bullshit you not. I ain't lying to you. I got all this
That's
stuff in my phone. I still got the escape plan to this day. But basically, I made up a thing where she fake like when she get there that when she get there, she takes a picture of the person's ID to verify that the person who she's supposed to be meeting with is the person that's on the thing. I made up all this shit the day before
right.
she goes to this place. That she when she get there, she verifies who they are, take a picture of the ID, act like she's sending it back to the people to verify I have contacted the person, blah blah blah. Then I just did a bunch of steps like verify this, then you call in and say, hey, I'm here at the location, the meeting has started at this time, I will contact you when the meeting ends, blah blah blah. Fake, just a whole lot of fake stuff. She's only calling me.
Right.
So I put all this stuff together for her, bro. Next day, she goes on a solar panel sale somewhere like 30 miles outside of Dallas.
Okay.
Just rural. When she I'm also a person who has dreams, and she was my best friend. So whenever I would have dreams, I would tell her these dreams. I like if I would know something, it was something in the dream that was very strange, I would tell her just to write it down for me. So I had told her a dream like probably about 4 or 5 days earlier. So when she gets to this house, when she pulled up for the meeting, she immediately says, sis, didn't you tell me that the house that was in the vision was had a thing on the side, and then it was gonna be some sexual stuff in the garage or in the area or something? And I'm like, I can't see this. Yeah, some. I'm like, yeah, something like that. So what happened was when she gets out of her car, she's supposed to go in these people's house. Well, instead of them taking her into the house, they take her on around the side of the house to the barnyard area. Well, the man tells his wife to go to the front, but he takes my best friend and he takes her around the side of the house by himself, which when you're doing it, the two people are supposed to stay together. You're supposed to always talk to both people at the same time. They're not supposed to separate. So we're already on guard because of the spiritual aspect. So when he takes her to look off in this barnyard area, it has bondage stuff and just some crazy stuff in there. When she come out, she see police cars are parked in another area on this same property. Now she's on the phone with me while she's talking and acting like she's talking to the company.
Right.
Well, when she come back out trying to get in her car, The man get on this side of her door, the woman get on the other side, blocking her inside of her, blocking her getting in the car.
Right.
She looked down the street, down the runway, another truck done pulled up, blocking her in, acting like it's a utility truck.
Right.
Everything that I done seen in a dream is happening right in this moment while I'm talking to her.
Right.
So she say, sis, she say they're blocking the doors to the car. I said, don't show no signs of panic like you know what's going on.
Right.
I say, tell them you have to get the paperwork for them to sign or something. I don't remember exactly what I told her to tell them, but I know I told her to tell them she got to get something out the car to sign it. And just like kind of act like she kind of flirting with the guy. Like just do something flippity dip that he'll let you get into your car.
Right.
So she does, she says something, but she ended up, the woman ended up letting her in.
Mm-hmm.
The woman ended up letting her get in the car. Whichever one I'm letting her, she get in from the right side. She ended up getting in like this and having to get over to her other driver's side of her seat. Soon as she get in the car, I say, lock the goddamn doors and gun it. Because they're still trying to block her. They're trying to like hold her doors and stuff. Right. So when she get in the car, she just gun it. I tell her to gun it backwards. Just go fast as you can go. Well, she gets scared, so she kind of stopped. Then she see that man is not a utility man. Mm-hmm. And that he's talking to the man in the fence. That's who they talking, trying to get her. She so when he see her finna gun it and like just hit it, I say, sis, I don't care. I say, you can get a new car. I say, gun that car. So she gunned the car. So he moved and I don't know if whatever he did, it made her not hit the gate, but he pulled it back or something. Something got her out that gate. And I really believe with the Spirit of God and my energy, I just got chills on my body. So I'm going to go with it. It was the Spirit of God that made this gate come open. But she ended up, they followed her for 20 miles. Mm-hmm. The whole way, Frank, I promise to God, I'm telling her everything that's happening. I'm like, sis, go to the gas station. I say, it's going to be a man. He's going to be at the other thing across from you. Take his picture. Let him see you taking his picture. They got people following her. They was a human trafficking ring. They was a human trafficking ring. And they had people at the solar company that were sending people, certain agents were sending people to wrong addresses to get the ladies missing. These people followed my sister all the way to Dallas. Bro, all the way. I said, this is literally what I was doing. You're going to see a white car on your right. I say, when you get about 3 miles down the street, it's going to be a lady and a baby in a car acting like they need help. Don't help them. They're a distraction. I'm doing this on the phone with her. I'm telling her, okay, now when you get right here, I'm like, keep driving, sis. It's going to be a black car coming out of a curve right here. She started screaming, oh my God, sis, the black car just turned out of this street right here. I'm like, sis, keep going. When you get down here, you finna see this. And God is telling me everything. Exact. It scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me. I had never had a white woman sleep in my bed. At the time, I was homeless. Nobody knew this. I was homeless, living in a vacant house. My sister came and slept in the vacant house with me because she had never experienced anything like that. And she just wanted to be close. And me and my pop had a king size bed because we was homeless together. It was a situation where somebody was putting me out because I wouldn't sleep with them. And my godfather stayed in the house too. He was there before me. And because they were putting me out, he chose to be homeless with me.
Mm.
Just to be my protector.
Right.
Nothing more. And she came and slept between us. We had her to go all the way to South Dallas. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But I told her, I said, the guys next door to where my house is, I said, there's some gangster dudes. I said, go tell them that you're my sister. I said, I don't care if you white, just tell them you're my sister. And they'll protect you. And they protected her till I got there. They protected her till I got there. But that was the most craziest spiritual encounter that I have had. That one was, wow, man. I think I was scared for 3 days after that.
Yeah, I heard you.
I was scared for about 3 days after that. And I had a boyfriend break up with me because I fought a demon. And I levitated off the ground.
Well, you know what? We're gonna come back to
Save
them
that
stories.
for tomorrow.
Cause I know you're gonna be we're gonna have some fun on this channel with you. It's gonna be anesthesia, right? I call you
Anastasia. Anastasia the Boo. You can call me
okay.
Anesthesia because I'm gonna be your medicine.
So we're gonna be back. We're gonna end the show tonight. I got your cash app up there. I should be showing right now. If y'all want to send her a cash app, support her charity.
Y'all can send a donation because every end of the month, every last Thursday of the month, we go and feed the homeless, and we raise $250 just to buy toiletries and little bags and stuff, so we can give them out in South Dallas. I also, if you like to get my book and you send a cash out, just put Indiscretion.
Okay.
In the memo, and
Okay.
I will send you and your phone number, because I don't know your phone number from your cash app. So put your phone number and the little book emoji, the little red book emoji, and I'll know to send you the book. Indiscretion is my erotic book, but I also dropped a motherless child, which is a self-help guide for mothers that didn't have mothers, or mothers that just want to be better mothers. We'll talk about that on the next one, but that is also one that I think that you would enjoy. So just let me know if you like the self-help guide for mothers. It's called The Motherless Child. Or if you'd like to get Indiscretion, which is my erotic fantasy novel. Just let me know, man. I'm with it. And I make sure you get your copies, Frank.
Okay. And I have my cash out for you too. We're gonna end the show. We appreciate Anesthesia the Bowl.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say to everyone,
she's gonna be back on here.
I love it. Thank y'all, and thank y'all for tuning in. Those that are watching, and please, 2025, stop procrastinating. Let's get consistent. Amen. Let's get consistent about fulfilling our purpose and our dream. Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl, Anastasia DeBow. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Just not in Walmart, because I'm bipolar.
Okay. Everything black. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the other end tomorrow night, 9 o'clock.
Melanin Nation, everything black, baby. It's your girl, Anastasia DeBow.
Black.
Peace. I'm out.
All right.